have to turn these mics on.
Yours is not. The red band right here. There you go.
Okay, there it is. Call this meeting of the Sebastian Budget Review Advisory Committee to order at 6 o'clock. Let's all please stand and have the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's have a roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Napier?
Present.
Ms. Jacob?
Here.
Mr. Garton?
Here.
Mr. Middleton? No, he's not here, that's right. Mr. McGinn?
Here.
And Mr. Baker?
Here.
Thank you.
I assume these absences are excused. They called in and told you they would not be here, correct? Bruce Hoffman did?
Mr. Hoffman had emailed me and told me he was not going to be in attendance. However, Mr. Middleton emailed me last week and told me he would be here.
How about Mr. Middleton?
He emailed me and said he would be here. So, I don't know.
So they'll be excused then. Okay. We'll have our introduction of our new Chief Financial Officer. Brian, would you please handle the introduction?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as you all are fully aware, Mr. Kilgore had retired last year, and we went through the process, and we have hired a new Chief Financial Officer, Finance Director for the city, Brian Stewart, who is here tonight. Brian will. Can you hear me? Is it transmitting okay? So Brian will be, he's our new Chief Financial Officer. He comes in with a wealth of knowledge in finance department, also some auditing background. So I think he's going to bring a new approach and look at things a little bit differently as we go forward. And I just want to welcome Brian. He's been with us for 3 or 4 weeks now at this point. So he'll be your main resource from this committee will be Brian. So make sure you reach out to him. Continuous communication as we start to get ready into the budget season, and he will be your main point of contact. So once again, we'll welcome Brian to the city of Sebastian, and we're happy to have him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome aboard. Introduction of the members. I'll ask each of you to just introduce yourself and let them know who appointed you. Start off down at the end.
My name is Roy Garton. It's my first crack at here at the city of Sebastian, although I do have previous experience in city government from other states. And I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember exactly who appointed me from the city council.
You're appointed by the city council.
Yes, yes, that is correct.
Grace?
My name is Grace Reed. I was appointed as an at-large member by the city council. I've been on the committee here for, I believe this is my 3rd year. Previous experience was auditing.
I'm Harry Hall. I was appointed by Council Member Fred Jones. Been on the committee for, I think, 5 years now.
Hello, Scott Baker, resident of Sebastian for 25 years, former employee of the city as the airport director and public works director, and first year here on the advisory board.
My name's Terry McGinn. I've lived in Sebastian for 17 years, and I've been on this board for 4 years.
And I'm Susan Jacob. I've been in Sebastian 23 years and recently retired from working in a local county government as well,
Which county?
St. Lucie County.
Oh. I'm Larry Napier. I was appointed by Ed Dodd, and I've been on this committee too many years to remember. Been quite a while. Next is selection of a chairperson. I will take nominations for chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Harry Hall for chairperson.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, let's vote on Harry Hall being chairman. No other nomination. All those in favor of Harry Hall as chairman, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carries unanimous. Now selection of a vice chairperson. Take nominations for vice chairman.
I have a question on that. If you were going to nominate someone and they are not present tonight, can you still do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Bill Middleton for vice chair.
Who?
Bill Middleton.
Any other nominations?
I have a question. Can you nominate an at-large member? They're still a member, right? Yes.
I would imagine you could nominate an at-large member because they're like a regular member.
Right.
There's 7 regular members, the 5 council appointees and the 2 at large. So I would imagine that an at-large member could be nominated.
Okay. I'd like to nominate Grace Reed as vice chairman.
And I would like to nominate Bruce Hoffman. Because he's only out for this meeting, right? So I'd like to nominate Bruce Hoffman for vice chair. So the first person we have for vice chairman is Grace Reed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? You want a roll call? Let's do a roll call.
Mr. Chair, if I may, why don't we, and since we have 3 options for vice chair, just have every member select who they want to be, and then hopefully that solves the issue. That would be the easiest way instead of having a roll call and go through the numbers. So everyone just vote on which one of the 3 you prefer as vice chair.
Okay. So I'll start down at this end again. Who you want for vice chair?
I nominate Grace.
Well, we've already had nominations. We're voting now.
I vote for Grace.
Bill Middleton.
Grace?
I said Bill Middleton.
Okay. Harry?
Bruce Hoffman.
Grace Reed. Grace Reed.
Grace?
Grace Reed.
I'm going to abstain. I don't know any of them, and you have enough to have a vote. Can I abstain?
You may not abstain.
I prefer you vote. I don't believe you can abstain, can you?
Okay.
You have to vote. You cannot abstain.
Okay. I'll go with the woman. I'll go with Grace.
Okay. And I'll vote for Bruce Hoffman. So it's Grace Reed as the vice chairman,
Congratulations, Grace.
Thank you.
and Harry is the chairman.
Congratulations.
You got it, Harry.
You have to sit over there.
Yes, you have the gavel.
Okay, next we have approval of the minutes for the meeting of August 19th, 2024. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
Move approval.
Second.
Move approval.
Got an approval and a second. Any discussions? Discussions? Hearing none. The minutes have been approved by the board. Next item is review of the budget calendar for calendar year 2025-2026.
We have to vote, don't we?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Vote on the minutes.
We had a motion and a second, but we need to take a voice vote is fine.
Voice vote or by?
Yeah, you could just voice vote for the minutes.
Okay.
Just all in favor.
Okay, we have approval of the minutes. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All ayes, hearing no. It's approved. Budget review for fiscal year 25-26. That's to be presented by the new Chief Financial Officer.
Mr. Chair, I'll take this one because I had a big hand in developing this calendar before Brian had gotten started.
Okay.
So this calendar has been approved by City Council. They have made just one adjustment based on what they were presented, and I'll highlight that one as we go through. But amongst your budget calendar, you'll see tonight we had initially put organizational meeting / first quarter financial would be reported tonight. However, we are making some adjustments and it was not prepared for this meeting. So you will at the next meeting get the first quarter and the second quarter budget information at that time. That was just me being, I think a little bit too proactive in planning, and it just wasn't, it's not prepared yet for this time. So as we continue to go forward, your next meeting will be on May 5th. At that time, you will review the first quarter and the second quarter budget report. And then we will continue down the process all the way until you all will receive, and I know I got the question earlier tonight, you all will receive the recommended CIP and operating budget documents on July 9th. I have really tried to stress it to staff to get the budget documents prepared earlier. However, the one caveat to that is we do not receive the DR 420 certified property values until June 27th. So that gives us roughly a week and a half after that to make any adjustments from a staffing level based on those reports that we get in. And so that's why July 9th is probably about the earliest. We'll try to get it to you a day or two earlier, but I can say July 9th is what we're showing on the calendar. Then we will follow that up with City Council budget workshops on July 16th and 17th, followed by Citizen or Budget Review Advisory Board on July 21st. And from that stance, we will just continue to proceed as we go through the process of the budget review and all the way through the final meeting on September 24th, which will be the public hearing and final millage and final budget. and the adoption with City Council. So it's a lengthy process. I know we have a couple new members on the committee this year. We started internally in mid-January from a staffing perspective of developing a CIP. Those of you that are familiar with the process, it's earlier than we have in the past, and it really was because we have a new chief financial officer and wanting to make sure that as he comes in, our staff is doing everything we can to help him in his process of learning the operations in the city and what the priorities are. So staff is fully underway. Their CIPs are due to Finance Department by the end of this week. We will then proceed with their operating budgets. So that's where we currently are. And once we get operating in, we'll sit down and start to have our discussions with each individual department from a leadership perspective on where we're looking this year. There's a lot of things, if you don't follow legislation in Tallahassee from a state level, there are a lot of bills that have been filed that could potentially affect us multiple angles. One, from a revenue generation standpoint, there are some property tax bills that have been filed. And then also from an expense standpoint, there's a sovereign immunity which identifies the tort limit caps on people that sue municipalities and counties. That's also up for consideration right now with a bill filed to increase those tort caps from existing 200,000, 300,000 all the way up to 1 million, 3 million. So when you start to look at those things, we're kind of getting hit a little bit from both sides, from a revenue and an expenditure side. Session has began last week, so we're accurately, on a weekly basis, daily basis almost, following those bills through the process. So we should hopefully know a little bit more information on that as we advance through the next 45 to 60 days of the legislative session. But that's kind of an overview of the budget calendar, and I just wanted to give some of you, as I said, that were new members, a little bit of a detailed look into what's happening behind the scenes right now. We began in mid-January, and we're full steam ahead in the budget process right now. So any questions, I'm here to answer, and then obviously Brian can assist as well if you all have any questions in regards to this, but it is the presented budget calendar for this fiscal year.
Move approval of budget calendar.
Second.
Actually, I have some questions. Get this turned on. The budget that we're preparing this year, initially, what are your feelings on that? I feel that the fund balance is pretty healthy, so I don't expect you to be telling the staff to be coming in with any kind of percentage cuts or anything. So going forward, are we looking to maybe take on some projects or whatever that instead of kicking it down the road, we might be able to take care of it now? Or
Yeah, that's a hard one to say right here today. I can tell you that because of the unknown of what's happening with legislation from a state level. I can tell you that our responsibility is to be as fiscally responsible as we possibly can be. However, realizing that there are projects that we have to get done. If you remember last year in our policies, we set a new standard for what is to be allocated in reserves. It went from 5 million to 7 million last year at the direction of City Council. So we still have that number there, but I will say, there's a lot of things that are in the works. So, from a staffing standpoint, I've told our staff that it needs to be projects that are ready to go. I don't want projects coming on board that sit on the list for 4 and 5 years. Okay. I know in the past that's been an issue, and that's not something that we're interested in looking at now. They can forecast out 4 and 5 years, but don't budget next year for a project that is not going to happen next year. So there's elements of that looking at. We're about to finalize our strategic plan with direction from council. So that's going to play a heavy part in our budgeting process as well as we go forward. So all of those things, kind of looking at it, I can tell you right now, I have told staff to be fiscally responsible with their requests.
Yeah, I know you won't have a better idea till near the end of March of what's going on in Tallahassee, and I was just wanted to get kind of your initial feelings on what you were going to impart to the staff. Any discussions before we?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I was looking on the agenda, and this is the only place I think I can slide this in. I gave this a lot of thought before the meeting tonight and going over last year, and I'd like to make a few comments since this is the kickoff meeting for this year's budget, if I may. And I made sure that I wouldn't get lost. This committee is a great committee, and I'd like to really compliment Larry and Harry and Hoffman as being the elder spokesman who had the most experience and has inputted tremendous amounts over the last 4 years. And we haven't always agreed on a few things like rollback or no rollback. But I think it's time to consider these following items as we start this budget process, and I wanted to get this on the record. The uncertainty that Brian's talking about is going to be created on both the national and the state level. And what I say to some of my friends is, get back to me in 6 months and tell me what you think then. So much is up in the air that we could be looking at changes that will occur in the next 12 months and the fiscal year after that. And we're really doing the budget for the next fiscal year. With a nonpartisan statement, I'd say that we probably are going to expect some significant increase in costs throughout the economy. Maybe some people would disagree, but it sure looks that way. And there's a movement in the state legislature, as Brian said. I don't have to repeat what he said. The real estate tax thing was a really scary thing to me. I don't possibly know how you could run a municipality without real estate taxes, and I doubt that will go anywhere, but if it does, we're going to be in a big load of crap. So during the last Budget Advisory Board, there was a lot of pressure to go with rollback because the voters wanted it. And I had somebody say to me today, probably in the last 2 hours, the people who really complain about $25 in taxes, then go out to dinner 4 times a week and buy a new iPhone. So without income, the city can't run. I mean, that's where your income comes from, and it's going to be really hard to make it up anyplace else. So I would hope that going forward that we consider that. It's really not the time to be trying to beat the city down, but rather to lift the city up. And we've got storm to sewer, a septic to sewer by 2030, unless they change it. That's what, 300 million, I think the city council said the estimate could be. That's impossible, but we have storm sewer improvements that are looking really great, and they need to continue, but we have put some things on hold. So as we go forward, I hope the Budget Committee and the people realize that this is we don't pay super large taxes in this county. And I think we really need to be fiscally responsible, and this committee has a good opportunity to help with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Anyone else? Comments? Well, I have to say that I agree pretty much with what Mr. McGinn had stated. We do need to take care of our wants, actually our needs, and if we can do some of our wants, that's nice, like some of the wants that we did with the pickleball court in the past. But yes, there are some trying times ahead of us, and even though it may not be as bad as some people think it will be, I still think myself, like Terry, that we are going to see some pain. But I believe the staff here will be up to the challenge for it, and we look forward to working with you all. And if I could entertain a motion to adjourn.
Excuse me?
Couple more items on
There's more.
Yeah.
We have to vote on the budget calendar first. There's a motion and a second on the floor.
Which one? Where are we?
To approve the budget calendar. H. There's a motion and a second on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Larry did.
I call for the question on the budget calendar.
Any questions on the budget calendar?
Well, it means you take a vote now.
Okay. Can I get a vote on the budget calendar? We had a motion and an approval, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we had a motion and a second.
Okay.
I did. Grace.
Grace made the second. I made the motion, Grace made the second.
Okay.
And I called for the question, so now all we need to do is vote on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And we've had the comments from the Chief Financial Officer, or do you care to?
Sure. I just look forward to working with all of you. I've never worked with an advisory committee before. I've been in governments for 26 years, I think, and been through several different types of governments. So this will be new for me. So it's going to take a little time for me to learn your process and ways of doing things. But you know, I've worked with several entities in several different budgets. So I'm also looking at you know, the quarterly reporting and budget reporting and reports to the council, and probably gonna, you know, may change up a little things, and hopefully you guys can work with me on the reports and give me feedback on what's valuable and what's not. I would appreciate that. So look forward to working with you all.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Next item, announce the next meeting date will be May 5th. Does anyone on the board have a conflict with that date?
I'm good.
Nope. Okay.
I'll be here anyway.
Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, are there any more discussions? Anyone?
A second.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I get a second?
Second.
Don't need a motion for that, just hit the gavel and adjourn the meeting.
I prefer a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? None. We're adjourned.